2.
Okay, now better take help of the potential.
Sir, 2.
Ratio of 2 or check once. Check once. Some it's saying 2. Some answers I got 8. 1. Ratio is asking.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Let's see that which option will finally end up. 8, 2, 1. Let's. I'll start this one. So we know some like potential, the formula, no? So call that as X. What is this? There's a volume charge density, no? So I'll adjust it. Q, what you can write, rho into some proportional. So there will be some value, we don't know, alpha. Is it any charged object, let it be, the alpha will determine that value. If with a cube, you'll get like alpha 1. If it is some sphere 4 by 3 pi, so I'll let me keep that alpha, that one into this will be x cube in place of q. In place of q, I'm writing this much. So finally, so let me take beta. So what we can write it as, this potential will be proportional to x square, rho into x square. K beta, I'll replace them. The beta what it all depends upon the type of the shape of the object. The value of beta will determine, because what is the q? Q is the total charge of the object. If the sphere, it will be rho into 4 by 3 pi x cube. I'm just taking dimensional analysis, that's all, from dimensions. Okay, there's a cube. I'll take it, small cube. So let me start with this. There's a cube. So at this particular point P1, I'll call it. The potential here V1. And let be this side length of the cube be X, density rho. So is it justified this? Looking at this, can I write V1 proportional to rho X square? Where is the point P? At the corner. Sir, straight away, how you can write like this? You look at the previous problem. The potential at the apex open was dependent only also on the slant length, no? Like that, the potential at that point will be proportional to the side length, because what will be known, what information we have a cube, we know only side length. According to dimensions, it should be, the potential should be proportional to what? Square of the dimensions of the cube. You have to straight away take help of dimensions rather than fighting with the structure. Okay, now come for this one. Let me take a larger cube. I'll draw a larger cube. Some rough diagram. You can see it. So it will be try to see that. So shall we assume now 8 cubes are there? This larger cube of side 2A is made up of 8 such small cubes. So what about this particular point? What it will be like? And so there's a point P2. That P2 will become center of this larger cube. P2 is what? Center of bigger cube, you write it. What is P1? P1 will become corner of, and what should be the potential at point P2? So it is what? I'll bring P3. What is P3? P3 will be corner of bigger cube. Is it okay now? So I do have that one. What is P3? Again from the dimension analysis formula, P3 should be proportional to rho into 2x whole square. Side length of this is how much? It should be equal to this one. So what was our question now? Find the ratio of output at center of the potential at the center to the potential at a corner of cube. Is asking VP3 by VP2. Before that, let me divide these two here. VP3. This is symbol. I'll write VP1. So VP3 by VP1 should be equal to 2a whole square by a square. Should be equal to 4 by 1. But what was our question? Is asking VP3 by VP2, no? So how to calculate that? VP3 by VP2. Any relationship between this? What is VP2 now? It will become corner of that 8 cubes, no? The total potential, and moreover, it will be symmetric. The point P2 will become center of the bigger cube. What is the potential of that will be? Similar to like this 8 VP1, I should add up. So I do have formula. I'm directly jumping to how to predict VP2. I'll directly write 8 VP1. Any reason for that? The potential at P2 will become like a corner for this one particular cube. That one. So P2 will become center of the cube. P2 will become like a corner for that 8 smaller cubes of side length A, what we assumed. So what is VP2? And potential is scalar quantity. I just take the sum, all are positively charged. No? The total is, so I'll add a potential. So VP1, what will happen? VP1, we know it. How much VP1 it should be equal to? So keep it this much here. So VP2 equal this much. So now what is our question is asked? VP3 by VP2. So VP3 is how much? VP3. So this will be 4. Okay, I'll substitute one more. Okay, what was the question? VP3 by VP. VP3, you write it. For 4 VP1, you write like this. This will be 4 VP1. VP2, what you can write? 8 VP1. 1 by 2. So what is our answer now? Just based on dimension analysis, nothing to do with this.
So they ask VP2 by VP3.
Corner, no? VP3 by that one. And the electrostatic is central to the potential at the corner of a cube. Okay, I'll take reverse of this then. Huh? VP2 by VP3. I'll take reverse of that then. Potential at the center to the potential at the corner. I'll change it. So then it'll become 2. VP2 potential at the center to potential at corner will be 2. This will be our answer. Okay, there are some many other things are there. Later class, I'll discuss few more many good questions are there, like this logical thinking. Now, let me introduce that potential energy concept because I wanted the main purpose of that. So I'll scroll down. Okay, directly I'll start with the formula. This one. So we know 2 point charges are there. There's a point charge. Let this be a test. There's a point charge here. What is the interaction potential? We are very sure about this one. Interaction potential. Let me call this is 1. I think the formula what you can write it. No, let's calculate potential at the location of point charge due to the point charge Q1. So what is the potential at the location of point charge Q2 will be? You are going to write like this. No, look at this. Listen. So this is like you can keep like a test charge. It is. If you want to call test charge, and there's a point charge. Let me substitute this. So U12 is equal to V1 into Q2. I think it's a very good formula you can see. What is the interaction potential between these two charges? Where this, I'll assume the test charge present in the field of point charge. I'll calculate potential at a point where I kept a test charge into the magnitude of charge what I keep. That will be what? That will be the interaction potential. See, calculation of potential is very easy. We know now. Mathematically, we did. How to calculate interaction? There's a method. So now there's a charged object. Let me go for generalized here. I want potential at point P where I'll keep a test charge. So what is it? There's a body. There's a charge, point charge. What is the interaction potential? First, I'll calculate potential at that point, at point P due to charged body. Then what is the interaction potential will be? Potential at a point where you kept a point charge into the charge what you kept it. That will be the interaction between these two. I think this is one best approach, no? To get the interaction potential between a body and a point charge. Later we'll extend this concept for interaction potential between the bodies. Okay, I'll begin with this idea. Let me start with a ring, that one, because we know potential due to a ring. So there's a charged ring. So let it be at a distance x. Here I'll keep a point charge q. I'm asking you what is the interaction potential between the ring and the point charge. Where it is kept at point P. What is the potential at point P due to ring? Kq by root of r square plus x square. Then what is the interaction potential is equal to potential at point P on the axis into the point charge. So this will be Kq root of r square plus x square. Interaction potential energy between ring and point charge. You do get plenty of application questions are there almost in all books. plenty of problems on conservation of mechanical. See, like yesterday's class, I confined myself only to point charges. Now what happened? You can bring in conservation of mechanical the charged object also, charged body also, like a ring, disc, sheet. Then a point charge will come into picture in the applications. You get plenty of applications. If any non-conservative force acting, go for work energy theorem. If only conservative force are acting, go for conservation of mechanical energy. Like this, the analysis is what we are going to do. So whenever a charged object comes and it interact with any point charge, first thing what we should know, what is the potential at a point where you kept a point charge, that has to be determined. If you know that, then you can proceed here. Let me introduce to one problem here. Okay, this is the ring of say mass 2m. Radius of the ring, let it be 3a. So there's a test charge. Mass is 2m, charge let it be q. Mass of this, let it be m. I'll release from rest both the ring and point charge. Or release it from rest. You are able to hear me? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, fine. The ring and point charge are released from rest. Find the speed of ring and point charge when point charge is at center of ring. Okay, masses are given, the distance of initial separation is given. This is the axis, where that point charge, it is lying on the axis. You can solve this by the force method approach or the energy method approach. The negative point charge, there's a positive charge ring and negative point charge. Will they attract or repel? They'll attract each other. They'll attract each other. Where do they meet? They should meet at center of mass. So is it, are we sure as the net force acting on system along x-axis is 0? There's a one very firm confusion, like a confirmation what we are making. The net force acting on system is 0. Summation of, it's quite clear, no? What force the ring will exert on the point charge, the same force the point charge will exert on the ring. If you want, you assume the ring present in the field of point charge. So how the force will be in this direction, like this. Then take component of that, the net resultant force, what you calculate on the ring due to point charge should be equal to by the ring on the point charge. Okay, this is very important. So unless you don't do this conclusion, not possible, you see. So what is the first idea? The net resultant force, sigma F should be 0. So what happened to center of mass of system will not shift. Center of mass, I'm showing it here. C is what? Center of mass of system. It will not shift. Then finally, where do the point charge when the ring is at point C, no? There the point charge will be the center of the ring. Okay, take exactly, there you show like this. So this is the How the ring will be moving in this direction. Call velocity of ring V2. That of the point charge. Velocity of that be V1. How to get this location? X2 and this will be X1, no? X1 should be equal to 2R from the center of mass concept. M1 X1 equal to 2mx2. X1 plus X2 is equal to 4A. This total distance is 4A. So X1 equal to 2x2. So substituting this value, 2x2 plus x2 equal to 4A. So x2 equal to 4A by 3. So x1 should be equal to 8A by 3. After getting this, so how to get that V1, V2? That was our main purpose, no? Not like finding center of mass of system. So what is the net force acting on system? Electrostatic force only. So initial interaction potential G plus kinetic energy equal to final interaction potential G plus kinetic. Initial interaction potential G. Yes, now that interaction, just now I discussed, no? So call this as E. Call this as this point as C. So potential at A due to ring into point charge minus Q. They are released from rest. Then potential at the center of the ring, Vc into minus Q plus mass of charge particle M, that of the ring. So M into V1 square by 2, 2M into V2 square by 2. Symbols, potential and the speeds are different. I am capital letters I'm using for potential. Small letters is what I'm using for the speeds here. So potentiality, what is the formula for potentiality? K Q by root of 3A whole square plus 4A whole square. So this will be KQ by 5A. Potential at the center of the ring, KQ by 3A. Substitute the values here. KQ minus KQ by 5A is equal to potential at the center minus KQ by 3A plus M. This will be M V2 square. 2 will get cancelled out. So M. But we have V1, V2 both unknown. No? I need one more equation.
M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2.
Conservation of linear momentum, because net force acting on system is 0. So I think I'll write that f of x 0 here. Apply conservation of linear momentum. So 0 equal to M2 V2 or 2M V2. Solving equation 1 and 2, we'll get the required answers. Maximum prefer questions of where the so many ideas are brought. Center of mass, conservation of momentum, conservation of mechanical energy, electrostatics, all are included here. You do such questions. Don't just go blindly from question number 1 to question number 50. Pick up questions of that kind. You must, I think at this particular point, you know enough mathematics, enough mechanics. So you know background of mechanics. So definitely the moment you see question, any mechanics is involved, as you pick up, that become mixed concept. Okay, workout, you have to take the calculation. So these are the interaction potential energy. The core conservation of mechanical energy idea is what we applied. Center of mass concept, you see, the main ideas. Then conservation of linear momentum. Shall I go for one more with the point charges, the variation, graphical problem we'll discuss of potential one. Slowly now you know electric field due to line charge, you know solid hemisphere, hemispherical shell, cone. Bring point charge nearby the charged object and calculate the interaction potential and any other problem related to conservation of mechanism. You have to work out. Okay, let's discuss one last one question. Read the question. 2 point charges Q1, Q2 lie on x-axis at some separation D. The given figures show the graphical variation of electric potential. This small background. What is the background? Suppose if there are 2 positive charges are there. What is the potential at point P? You're just going to add like this, no? KQ1 D plus X plus KQ2 by X. Scalar, no, it's not a vector, it's a scalar. Then similarly, if there are 2 point charges are there somewhere at a point, if this is D, this is X, then how you write potential? Potential at point P, KQ1 by D minus X whole square plus K minus Q2. Substitute charge with sign. This idea is what which I'm going to apply here. How to calculate potential at a point due to more than 1 point charges? Just take the scalar sum, not the vector sum. You have to just go for the
Sir,
scalar.
it is not square, sir.
Square 2 has come. If the charge is positive, potential will be positive. Charge is negative, negative potential has to be introduced here. Take the algebraic sum of the potential. Any number of point charges. So this nothing but shall I say again, the idea of superposition first only due to charge Q1, what is the potential? KQ1 by D minus. Next, only due to negative charge Q2 minus KQ2X. Both are present. I'll take algebraic sum. N number of charges, let it be present. N number of charged objects, charged bodies, let it be present. Potential at a point. Just you are going to add potential due to individual objects. Then algebraic sum, you'll get the resultant potential. The small idea will help you a lot when we go for next week. Conductors, conducting shells, 3, 4, 5 shells will come. What is the potential at a point? I'll add up just potential at a point due to individual shell. Algebraic sum. I'm saying algebraic sum because potential can be positive or negative. Okay, let's come to the basic idea what you needed before dealing with this question. If more than 1 point charge comes, what to do with potential? There's a method. Positive, both like, and if they are unlike. Let's come here. There's a variation, the variation of V. Okay, directly. So you go back to some small basics. Shall I proceed now? This one, it will be, I'll just move it this. Okay, no. So first we'll do one thing rather than, so these are the 2 point charges, we'll keep it. 1 point charge. I don't know what is the magnitude. I don't know about the sign, sorry. There's a 1 point charge. Next, there's a, I'll write it below. Q1, and then next another charge, Q2. We don't know anything about sign. Very near to point charge, if there are 2 point charges are there, almost very near to point charge. Tell me what will be the field. We have formula like this, no? Q1 by X. If X is infinity, sorry, X will become 0, sorry. Very near, I am putting a dot. So X will become so small that what will happen to V? V tends to infinity, no? So irrespective of any number of surrounding charges, what is the potential at a point very near to the point charge? Should be very large. Look at the graph. Are you looking at this part of graph? I'm asking you to look at this part of graph. Okay, that. Then again, it's a due to point charge, how the potential will be it will very symmetrically, no? If you move on the left side and right side, it will very symmetrically. And that too, I got positive. Upward potential, if you take this is positive potential, downward will be negative. Look at now, nearby Q1, what I'm getting? Positive, no? So therefore Q1 should be positive or negative. Yes, the confirmation I'll make it, Q1 is positive. Getting all of you? There's a positive. Then Q2 must be negative, no? Because here potential is 0. In between only potential can be 0. So Q2 must be negative. Because somewhere at this particular point you see it's a negative. Again, look at the Q2. Sir, how you can say it's negative? Again, if near to point charge, the potential be negative. As a negative charge, look at the graph here. Look at these curves. Look at this part of curve. So therefore, it must be negative here. So here we have confirmation. First, the sign, we have confirmed it. This will be negative. This will be positive. So what is the separation between them? Let it be D. At a point somewhere, since the magnitude of charges are not equal, no? So take this to be point P, where the potential will be 0. Therefore, the point P. Look at that, this particular point. So look at this, you measure this distance and this distance. So call this is X1. What are the signs of Q1, Q2? Okay, we predicted. Which charge has larger magnitude? If X1 greater than X2, from the diagram, X1 greater than X2. So can you say anything about Q1, Q2? So I'll directly go for the formula. This is the idea which you needed. The potential at point P is 0. So therefore, I'll write it here. Bp equal to KQ1 by X1 by X2. This is 0. So Q1 by X1 minus Q2 by X2. So Q1, so from the X1 greater than X2, so write it here, Q1 by Q2 is equal to X1 by X2. Since X1 greater than X2, so therefore what should be the value of Q1? Q1 should be as X1 greater than X2. So Q1 should be greater than Q2. Okay, this is about the first part of the problem we have concluded. Okay, let's go for now other thing. Is it okay? So this much I have concluded. Next part is asking something. Origin is the point between the charges where potential is 0. Distance of Q2 from origin is d by 4. Is giving the value of x2. That's all. Find the distance of point P marked in figure from the charge Q. Okay. P1, no? I think I'm confusing with symbol. I'll go for some origin. I'll change symbol. Let me make origin. Is that okay? Distance of Q2 from origin is d4. So what is the value of x2 now? I'll assume it to be d4. Is asking find the distance of point P from charge Q2. Is asking this distance. How to bring this without any information? What is the graph we have? Potential versus x, no? How to bring that one? Okay, you make one observation. What is it? E equal to dv by dx, no? Calculate the slope at this point. What is the slope here? 0, no? Will I agree this? So there's a point A, I'll call it. At point A, what is the slope? Slope is 0. So we'll do one thing. At point A, slope is 0. So as the point A slope is 0, any conclusion can you make it? dv by dx must be 0, no? From the graph, and we know what is electric field. Electric field is equal to dv by dx. If dv by dx 0, then electric field EA should be 0. So if EA is 0, then what is the expression for EA? You can write it as kq2 by r square, kq1 by x2 plus r whole square. So can you find out now r? Because EA is 0, we know q1, q2. So we know x2 also given. So we'll get the value of r. So some good basic thinking problems. Huh? Anybody value of r? I'm writing this much. Check your answer. This should be the answer. Okay, fine. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue with some more problems, some application problems of this kind. Okay, all of you? Yeah, bye, see you.